Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a quick video on making a chicken curry sauce. Stay tuned. So first and foremost, I marinated my chicken. I did this and left it for an hour. It has the Maggi cubes, curry, thyme, and all other spices I used. And then I went ahead to chop up my veggies. So here I have bell peppers, yellow, green, and red. And I chopped up some onions and some atarodo scotch bonnet peppers. So after chopping all of this, I had some onions as well chopped up, and then I went ahead to put in some granite oil into the pot. This was for frying my chicken. So I would usually fry the chicken without any oil, any water actually, because I don't boil my chicken at first for this kind of sauce. So when I put in the oil, I went ahead to put in my base, which is the onions, chopped onions, and then the scotch bonnet went into the frying pan as well. This is usually my routine actually whenever I want to stir fry my chicken breast or chicken parts to use for food. So when I put in the onions and the bell peppers, I went ahead and put my special ingredients, which is the ginger and garlic paste. I love ginger and garlic in everything I cook, but if you don't like that, you can skip this bit. If you don't have the paste, you can put fresh ginger and garlic that you must have peeled and grinded in your kitchen, but I like the paste, so I always use the paste. So after putting that mixture, I stir fry a little bit, and once the onions is a bit fried with the pepper, then I go in with the chicken breast, or in my case, bits of chicken. So I had chicken parts in this case. I throw that in, and then I stir. At this point, you have to leave the chicken a bit to cook or fry, whatever the case may be. This needs just about 10 minutes or thereabout until the chicken is actually fully cooked. Usually you say, how do you know when it's cooked? Well, it goes white from red to a bit white. So there you go. You can see the colors change now. It's from stronger bits. So at this point, the chicken has actually cooked to a base, and the spices have, been absorbed by the chicken. And oh my God, the smell at this point, guys, is amazing. So you go in and you put in some water. The measurement of the water you put at this point will determine the amount of sauce you're trying to make and how much or how little you want it to be. So I put in the water, I stir a bit, and I cover it to simmer for a little bit, and let everything marinate really good. So while that's going on, I close this, and then I bring in a pan, put in a bit of oil in this pan. I don't like to cook with too much oil, so I try my best to minimize the amount of oil I use. So I put in a little bit of oil, stir it around so it goes all around the pan, and then I introduce at this point a bit of my veg. I always start with my onions. When you fry onions in oil for a bit, the smell and aroma it brings is just divine, guys. So always going with your onions and garlic if you want. Usually onions and garlic fry is just heavenly. If you're in the kitchen, trust me, you know the difference. So once that's done, I go in with my other veggies, which in this case is the bell peppers, all the 3 colors. Look at all that color burst, guys. That goes into the pan, stir it all a little. If you want some more pepper at this point, you can add a bit of scotch bonnet at this point. So try not to, cook or fry your veggies for too long, because it loses its crunch and freshness. So make sure you don't cook it for too long, just enough to simmer, but not to take away the crunchiness. So at this point, I leave this and I add in my carrots, my chopped up carrots. Oh my God, look at the color, guys. Add this in, stir it a little bit again. And then at this point, I add some of my spices. If you have vegetable spices, you can put that in at this point. You can go ahead and put your Maggi, your salt, a bit more of curry I did at this time. I added some some thyme as well, and yeah, that was it. So after adding all my spices, I took it off the fire, and then I reintroduced the veggies into the sauce. Make we do like extra cool, and we go back to the time when this love is better. I love you, but I'm always on the road. Can't lie, you put me in the mood, and I know you want that too. And I carry shoulder down for you. Just at this point, you go ahead and make your mix. So you have to make your corn flour mix, because this is used to thicken your sauce. If not, it's going to be just really watery, obviously, because at this point it's like chicken stock and water. So you measure, it's a small pot of food I'm making here. So I just went in with about a full tablespoon of corn flour and a half, and then you make sure you mix it very well. Make sure, guys, make sure there is no lump in this mixture, because it'll just go in and leave lumps, powdery lumps in your food. So you mix, make sure it's completely dissolved, and then you go in and you put it into your sauce. Just watch how it thickens. And PS, when you put in corn flour into your food, when it gets cold, it gets thicker. So don't feel like, oh, it's still too watery. Although you can measure out how watery you want your sauce to be at this point, or how thick you want it to be. I didn't want mine too watery, I didn't want it too thick. I just wanted the right texture for my sauce. So after I put that in and turned it, you taste again for salt. And if at this point you feel you need to add a bit more salt, then you can go in with salt or Maggi, your preference at this point, and stir it up a little bit. Remember, you're trying not to overcook because of your vegetables. And voila, your sauce is done. You can literally do this in 15 minutes if all your prep is done beforehand. I would always advise, if you can marinate your chicken or stock a day before, and then leave it in the fridge. It always just gives a different flavor, and the spices go into your meat. But if you don't have that amount of time, it's also fine. Just marinate for a few minutes, 30, 20, an hour, before you start all your mixture. So yes, I hope you enjoy this video, enjoy the meal until I come your way again. Thank you for watching, and please remember, subscribe to my channel. I love you all, and take care till I see you again. Bon appetit.